Okay, class, so today our topic is over comprehension. Our objective today is, we'll read off the board together. The student is expected to establish purpose for reading assigned and self-selected text with the dual assistance. They will also generate questions about text before, during, and after reading to deepen understanding and gain information with the dual assistance. So we're going to answer questions about the topic as a class and individually, and then we'll do the individual portion on a sheet of paper for assessment and evidence. So remember last week when we made predictions on a fiction book? Remember the few words of vocabulary we learned and the story map we completed? All of this got us ready for today's lesson. We are still making predictions, but this time over a non-fiction book. We'll use our prior knowledge, creativity, and new knowledge to answer several questions and work as a group. And up on the board here, you can see where I have a picture of a cup of milk, cheese, yogurt, and have you ever had a nice cold glass of milk? Did you ever wonder where that milk comes from? My favorite snack is hot chocolate chip cookies and a glass of cold milk. Do you know what kind of animal makes all of this possible? The book we are about to read will tell us. Today we are going to read a book and create a KWL chart to further our comprehension of the story. The KWL chart is what you already know, what you want to know, and then what you have learned after you've read the book. Some key vocabulary today is udder and bull, and we will talk about that throughout our lesson. So I'm going to draw a chart on the board for our KWL chart, and I'm going to draw it, and we're going to fill in what we know already. So something that we can say that we know would be cows are black and white. I'm sure everybody knows that. They can be different colors, but they're usually around black and white, especially the cows that give off milk. What do you want to know? Well, something that I want to know is are all cows female? And then you can come up with your own know and want to know. And so we're going to draw a chart like the one that I drew up on the board on your sheet of paper. And then I want you to write down what you know and what you already know. And I'm going to walk around the classroom and see what you already have. And then we'll discuss it as a class together. And then they're going to do that. And then I'm going to tell them we are now going to read the book. And the book that I have is on YouTube right now, so I'm not going to read it to the class, but I provided the link in my lesson plan. And then after the book, so we just read the book, and then there is a learned lesson, a learned part for the lesson. So the question that I asked, are all cows female? We're going to go back to our KWO chart. Are all cows female, class? Do we learn this from the book? Yes, all cows are female. Do cows make milk? Yes. Do they make chocolate milk? No. And then what are boy cows called? Bulls. And so I'm just going to go through and answer their question, or they're going to answer their questions from the book and provide textual evidence and add that to their KWL chart, something for them to keep so they can look at it. Okay, class, keep this in your folder for next time, and we will look at it and discuss it throughout this period. I'm going over nonfiction books. And now I have a few questions to ask y'all. So from the textual evidence from the book, it says, the cows begin to give milk after a calf is born. The calf drinks the milk. Think about this statement from the book. Raise your hand and tell me what you picture or imagine the author is describing. Now think about this statement. And the cows begin to give milk after a calf is born. The calf drinks the milk. So what I imagined is a cow that is pregnant, her udder's getting really big, full of milk. Then she has the calf. The calf sucks on the udder for the milk so it can eat. Another evidence from the book. Cows give milk through their udder. Farmers must milk their cows every day. Many people drink milk from cows. Now tell me what your mind is imagining. Did your thoughts change or stay the same? Is it a completely different thought? Cows give milk through their udder. Farmers must milk their cows every day. Many people drink milk from cows. So to me, it is a different image. Cows give milk through their udder. So they're still getting milk in their udder, but instead of a calf drinking it, we are milking the calves ourselves, and we are giving the milk to other people to drink. So our thoughts kind of changed and kind of stayed the same. What do y'all think?
Okay.
Now we're going to do another graph. It's going to be a compare and contrast graph. And I'll start y'all off. And we'll do this as a class. So compare. Both cow and bull are considered cattle. Contrast, cow has an udder. Both can have the same colors of hair. So the compare is both cow and bull are considered cattle. Both can have the same colors of hair, and both live on a farm. Contrast, a cow has an udder and a bull does not. A cow produces milk and a bull does not. And cows are girls and bulls are boys. And so I'm gonna have the graph on the marker board. And then I'm gonna draw two circles and show them how to do the compare and contrast in the circles. What's the same? Like, what does a cow have? What does a bull have? And then what's different in the middle? Okay, class, so now we're going to draw two circles and do our compare and contrast chart. And there's two different ways you can do a compare and contrast. You can do it in the chart I just showed you, or you can do it in these two circles. So let's try that. Okay, now I'm going to pass out a test for us to do so we can evaluate our skills that we've just learned. And then I will walk around the room verifying their effort and work. And then I will ask them questions individually as a class to make sure they've understood the concept. Okay, class, today we have learned about comprehension by reading a book about cattle. We answered several questions that was in the book, and we created a KWL chart to verify our learning. Does anyone remember what a KWL chart was again? Oh, right, it's know, want to know, and learned. And then we also did a compare and contrast chart in circles. Does anyone prefer one over the other? I prefer the circles over the chart. Okay, so you prefer the circles too. It's easier to see for me, and it's easier to know what's the cow has, what the bull has, and what they differ on. Did y'all like the questions that I asked y'all about imagining two different scenarios? Yeah, it was kind of, different. Visualizing this in our minds. And here, let me see if I can turn this around.